Hi, welcome back to the Distance Energy Work channel. Today we're at Lake Huron, just outside of Mackinac City. You can see the bridge in the background. And since we did some healing for Lake Superior and Lake Michigan, I thought it would be really nice to do a healing here at Lake Huron as well. The energy in Lake Huron seems to be very feminine and soft and very extremely nurturing. And there's a lot of great life force in this lake. And one of the interesting things about it is all these little reeds that are growing up near the edge where the water comes up and becomes very tender, where the waves of love or consciousness become very delicate. And the reeds slow down the process as it gets to the finest level of expression of the wave. And in the field of consciousness, this happens at the celestial level of the consciousness of a human. So I'm just going to say a little thank you prayer. Always have to do that first. So thank you to the mother of the whole creation, the birther of all the universes, for blessing this session, for your presence at this healing session at Lake Huron, and for your presence in the physiologies and the consciousness of everybody watching this video, everybody who ever will watch this video. And thank you to the ancestors of everyone watching, and thank you to the presence of divine intelligence within all of us for blessing this session. All right, so now I'm just allowing the being to tell this consciousness where it wants to focus. And it looks like it's focusing up in the throat and heart area of everyone watching. And it's interesting because that energy that's in this beautiful lake, that sort of loving, nurturing, motherly energy, is infusing into the hearts and throat area of everyone watching the video. And it's interesting to me because I've been realizing that one of the most powerful directions that awareness can flow to support the healing process is into the area of self-love. And here there's kind of a relationship between our ability to love and our ability to express the love. But for a lot of people, it gets a little bit blocked at the neck, so that the ability, oh wow, big waves are all of a sudden coming in, very nice. The lake. It can get a little bit blocked, which means that people's ability, it gets blocked, it gets caught inside. Things get caught in the throat and the chest and lung area. And this is where we love ourselves. There's a space, a sacred space within all of us that's very important for our ability to self-nurture. And that ability has to be very finely tuned and balanced in order to be able to take good care of ourselves and at the same time take good care of others as well. And the intelligence of this lake, and the winds have just changed and they're bringing the waters right into us right now, which is really beautiful. The balance is so perfect in this lake. The sweetness and the compassion, the nature of the lake to want to give to others and yet maintain the ability to give within herself, to promote life within her own body, is really important. So this quality that the lake offers in its sweetness and its tenderness is being offered to everyone who's watching this video. I'm just going to watch that happen for a minute and go in and support. And what I'm seeing happening is it wants to go through the individuals watching the video through to their ancestors. One of the wonderful things that we saw on the way over here as we stopped at a waterfall was a little plaque, like a historic plaque about a German family who had been responsible for the land in that area. And one of the things that it said on the plaque was they liked nothing better than good, honest toil. And, and it's really true that it's really satisfying to work well and work with integrity and get nice results from that work. But I have to admit that my children thought it was hilarious, because their idea of hard work as being something that people would really enjoy more than anything else on earth seemed almost impossible, right? But the thing is that this country was founded on the hard work of our forebears. And in order to be able to dedicate themselves to that quality and level, I'm speaking to the ancestors right now, in order for you to be able to dedicate yourselves to that level and quality of work, there had to be a certain degree of insensitivity to one's own needs, or at least to be able to effectively do it and effectively carry forth your work into the future, which is now present for us. It needed to be done with such a fine balance. There, she's giving us more information. This is beautiful. It had to be done with such a fine balance that the hard work that was being put out in the front of the system had to be balanced by the intention in the back of the system to be self-nurturing, self-supporting, self-administrating, self-sustaining. There we go, self-sustaining. So in that word sustainability, there's a lot of really good energy. So we're going to bring sustainability into this area. Now, self-sustaining and mutually sustaining, environmentally sustaining. Ah, very good. And this energy of sustainability seems to be now running a course through all of the individuals watching this video, and then also through their ancestors. And it's also having a reflective effect back out into the environment. And here it's offering an element of sustainability to this beautiful lake to help support and perpetuate her ability to evolve into the future from this point forward in a more and more sustainable way as we go along. And I'm also feeling the energy, that sustainable energy, that theme of sustainability kind of moving out into the environment as well, and having an effect on the inhabitants of this part of the United States, which is at a very interesting junction point between Canada and the US. And I'm just looking at the work of supporting that sustainability so that individuals start to become more aware. And this is what I was saying about the ancestors, was sometimes in order to really push yourself forward, you have to become a little bit insensitive to your pain threshold in order to be able to push past that pain threshold. And what we want is increased awareness as one increases strength and fortitude. So we want to increase the sensitivity actually as one pushes forward, so one can enjoy what it feels like to get stronger too, right? So that's in there, and that's going to be at the physical. It's interesting, when I saw these rushes, I thought this healing was going to go toward the celestial level, and it's not. It wants to go up into the physical body, into the four lower body, the four denser bodies, physical, etheric, mental, and emotional. It wants to get in there, and it wants to open channels of awareness into these areas so that as one builds strengths, builds technique, builds the ability to accomplish more and do more, knowledge, that one also becomes more aware of one's boundaries and limitations, so that, because that's right where we're working right it's the boundary between Canada and US, right? Those boundaries, one look at those boundaries really carefully, and here we are looking at them in a kind of fine way, just to see what are the mechanics of these boundaries, so that we can start to work with the boundaries and allow awareness to move into those areas and then activate the boundary so that the boundary becomes, rather than rigid or stuck, becomes mobile. There it is. And that's going into the ancestors. Thank you. This is what we needed to do. And so this, of course, is affecting the DNA in everybody's physiology. And here we're talking about the boundaries of the expression of the DNA. Where is that point where the DNA is just a code, and then where it becomes actual physical expressed, you know, length of fingers and the color of hair and that sort of thing? Where is the point, those boundaries, so that we start to, intelligence is coming in like a download into the God presence of everyone watching, and then it's filtering into these areas of the 4 lower bodies where it's like where the rubber meets the road, the gap between the 4 subtle bodies and the 4 more manifest bodies, where we're actually responsible for the way our DNA manifests. Thank you. This is happening. Good. So this is happening through the ancestral work that's being done right now, and a lot of things are happening for the ancestors. I don't want this to be too long, so I'm not going into great detail. If I have time, I'll put it in the comments below. Right. But joy is coming into happiness, or bliss is coming into that gap between the point where the DNA is a code, and the DNA begins to express as physical features, as tendencies of the mind and the emotions. Thank you, right there. And this is just happening, and I'm just enjoying it happening. And we have support from this beautiful Lake Huron, she's so lovely right at this spot. Maybe at the end we'll turn around, you can see these rushes. Are these rushes out here? Anyway, where they slow down, we slow down the flow of awareness as it gets into the gap. Because as you can actually turn, and I'll keep talking so they can see this. The waves come in quickly, but then these reeds right here cause a slowing down of the energy as it moves toward the shore. And the result of that is just like what we're doing on the level of consciousness, is we're slowing down the awareness as it moves toward that gap, or that point where one form transforms into another form. And by slowing down the awareness in the gap, we come to understand the laws of nature of that area, allowing the intelligence to move in a very delicate way, just as these little teeny delicate waves move through these rushes, and to give the intelligence of your being, particularly at the divine level of your being, the ability to make really clear, intelligent, sustainable choices. So this is about sustainable choices. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Hey, thank you for joining me. Thank you for helping to support sustainability in your physiology and for the whole environment and the whole world. It's really nice to have you. I look forward to seeing you the next time. Bye.